Mark has ALS, a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord, causing him to slowly lose the ability to move his body.
I can still talk, I can still walk, but can't use my arms at this point. The biggest challenge that I've faced is the loss of independence. Had to quit work, had to quit driving, not able to really effectively, with the loss of my arms, use a computer. I had to sell my home. This disease is going to kill me. What's happening to my body is, I don't wish on my worst enemy.
But through Synchron's BCI, known as a stentrode, he can communicate with his computer again, not with his hands, but with his mind.
The device is sitting in the motor region of the brain, which is at the top of the head. It's picking up when someone's thinking about like tapping their finger or not tapping their finger. And by being able to pick up those differences, it can create what we call a digital motor output. And that's what's being used with a computer directly to click on things.
Its fitting is less invasive than the brain surgery required for some other BCIs.
It goes in the jugular vein, so we make a small incision in the neck and we track our catheters up through there.
At Synchron's HQ, I'm shown the basics of the procedure.
You can start to see the stent just kind of peek through. You'll start to see it expand more.
What's incredible to think is that that little bit of mesh can do the job it can. How is that possible?
Due to kind of advances in thin film technology, so that has allowed us to use nitinol, which is a shape memory material. So there's actually kind of electrical circuitry that's essentially printed onto the surface of that nitinol that allows us to capture the signal from that region of the brain and transfer that down through the lead into essentially a pacemaker type device that gets the neural signal out.
Mark was one of the very first people to have it done.
The day that it connected, it still brings tears.
Now he's able to control devices just by using his thoughts, but it did take a while to get there.
It wasn't immediate, I can have a thought and it translate to clicks on a computer. You have to train yourself. I still had a little bit of movement in my arm, my hand, and so each task we have tried to train using that motor movement. So, you know, the translation to a click on a computer could be squeeze my right hand. It elicits the response in my brain that says to the stentrode, okay, we got the signal, and it'll click.
Mark is playing an instrumental role in developing how the system can be used. In twice-weekly sessions, he's discovering more and more about what he can do with it.
It's allowed me to be able to text or, play games. I'm the first person in the world to connect with Apple's Vision Pro using this device. I can't even tell you how that feels. I can't go on vacation, so I thought, well, what if we found an app that could simulate, you know, a small trip to the beach or whatever, and we were able to do that. So we found an app that we can do that with. So I've visited, Australia, I've visited New Zealand.
Wherever someone may be in the real world, it will be a while before this is more widely available, though. It's currently implanted in just 10 people in the US and Australia.
We're still working on improving it. I think at a fairly basic level, we can get good accuracy and good usability, but we have a road to learn.
And when it comes to Neuralink, for Noland, his hasn't always been working perfectly. Months after having the device implanted, he experienced some of the electrodes losing connection with his brain.
I wasn't able to really use my computer at all, and that was really upsetting. I didn't know if I would be able to use the Neuralink ever again, but a couple weeks later, they just switched how they were registering my neuron spikes in the software, and I got all control back. It's helping me find work. It's helping me hopefully go back to school. It's given me the chance to live a fulfilling life that I just wasn't living before.
I can see down the road in the future a world where this technology could really, really make a difference for someone that has this or any paralysis disease.
For Mark and Nolan, these devices have been absolutely transformative. They will gain wider use though. Elon Musk thinks that we may even all have them one day so that we can be supercharged by AI. But with direct access to our brains, we do need to make sure that the technology is used sensibly.
One of the main problems is privacy. So if we are exporting our brain activity, then we are kind of allowing access to not just what we do, but potentially what we think, what we believe, and what we feel. Once you've got access to stuff inside your head, there really is no other barrier to personal privacy left. Worst case scenario, you might get this kind of cognitive overclass that has access to ways of thinking that are just not available to other people. If you can directly write brain activity patterns inside somebody's head, then we have to worry about, well, who's doing the writing and what is their agenda? How do I know the thoughts that I think are truly my own if they could have been implanted by some company which might have some motivation for me thinking one thing rather than another? The ethical response, I think it just needs the kind of proactive discussion so that we maximize the upsides, minimize the downsides, and don't stifle the innovation that really will help a lot of people.
To create the technology that will serve us all best, we need to grasp the problems. And amidst MIT's cutting-edge innovation and robotics sits its Age Lab, a place where we can better understand the challenges that come later in life. Agnes is an ageing suit, demonstrating how it might feel to be in your late 70s or 80s. Wearable weights simulating muscle loss, bungee cords for spine compression, doctored Crocs for uneven balance.
Okay,
so I'm going to fall over backwards.
A neck brace for stiffness, all topped off with a pair of goggles to replicate having cataracts.
These are vision impairment goggles.
Even just lifting them up to get them off. It's not the goggles are heavy, my arms are. Oh.
Welcome to older age.
Everything is feeling like hard work. It's going to be a bit of a struggle to get used to this. I'm also disorientated from not really being able to see very well. I just want to sit down. I need a cup of tea and a sofa.
Getting there may be a bit tricky though.
I feel like I'm shuffling along, my shoulders ache a bit, everything just feels a bit heavy.
The idea here is to create the empathy and understanding for how life is when you reach this age, so that things can be better designed. Now, I'm going to sit down on the sofa. OK, that's all right, that's not too bad. And I'm going to pick up my drink. Even just picking up a mug feels harder work. My hands, my arms feel heavier. Time to go out and about.
OK, one leg in. Oh, this is difficult. You've actually got to come up with a plan. Got to be a strategy as to how to do things. OK. Oh. Now I've got to get out again.
This suit may not be new, but it can continue to drive better innovation. Just across the campus comes a lab aiming to create solutions for age-old and old-age problems.
Wow.
Here at MIT CSAIL, the bots are getting house-trained to become more versatile and ready for some chores.
I'm glad it's a strain. Don't you come walking towards me like that.
Most of the humanoids I've ever encountered have been stood still. But this one seems to be making a beeline for me.
It looks quite menacing. I felt like it was heading towards me, going to punch me. It seems angry.
In 2015, there was a grand challenge where robots are supposed to do very simple things. like climbing upstairs, walking, getting inside a car, opening a door. Yet, robots failed terribly, and they kept on falling. There's a new way of programming robots that we have today, where we don't tell the robots how to perform things, but they learn by doing their own practice.
And this could dramatically reduce the time it takes to program them so they can get on with becoming useful, which could include helping an ageing population.
Do you believe that that being in a humanoid form is the right way? Because that is actually something that is debated.
Definitely. I think the very important thing is the hand, which is doing a lot of the manipulation work. For many use cases, you could have something on wheels with hands which can do things. But what if you have to get, under the table? Or, pick up a piece of, crockery? The way this system is trained, it is collecting data, where it is trying out, how its arm should move and how the leg should move. And it will try many, many, many times before it learns how to walk. So think about how you train a dog. If the dog fetches a ball, you might reward it. If the dog does not fetch a ball, you may not reward it.
How do you reward a robot?
If the robot is walking, we say it's good. If the robot falls down, we say it's bad.
It sounds a lot easier than a child. Once it's taught itself to walk, what else will it do?
We want it to do pretty much anything a human can do with their hands, with their legs, where you can say, hey, robot, cook me food, wash my dishes, do my laundry, or even beyond the household.
Okay, so this problem of no hands that's going on, you've actually got a solution here for that as well, haven't you?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Let me walk you to the hand solutions we have. What we have over here is an exoskeleton. Imagine in the future, people in factories could be wearing these gloves, so as to say, they're doing things, and then we can collect that data to train the software, which can then start doing many, many different things.
These hand exoskeletons are also learning from human behaviour, with sensors in them so that they can feel too.
In this form, what can they actually do?
Let's see it in action.
You can do a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, and as the Rubik's Cube is being rotated, we are measuring all the recordings from touch sensors. We are measuring where the fingers are going.
And from tracking that, the exoskeleton will learn from its clever operator how to solve a Rubik's Cube in future. Is nothing sacred? What is crucial in all of the work in this lab, though, is the collection of that data to truly grasp how us humans do things.
And that may help create the bots to help us. And this is just the beginning. IVF robots, BCIs, AI exoskeletons. It's early days for all of these technologies in the forms that we've just seen. But the possibilities for the future are enormous.